Alright, hello, welcome back. My name is Morty, this is Mildly Gumpler, and today we are discussing the Windam. So this is a high grade from Gundam Seed Destiny, which I've said it so many times already in the past. I mentioned it last week in my Providence video. I love the Seed series. Destiny has problems, primarily Shinosuke. But anyway, Seed Destiny, the Windams are your standard grunt mobile suits. So these guys are based on the Astray and the Strike frames, kind of mixed between the both. They've got the Ale Strike type style backpack, but they use primarily Astray technology, is my understanding of this kit itself, or the unit itself in universe terms. But this kit here is pretty cool from all accounts. I've yet to build it. This box actually is still unsealed. So, still sealed. Yet to be unsealed. That's the way I was wanting to phrase it. So let's open this box up, take a look at what we've got. So, I can't remember from the reviews I've watched of it if it's polycapless or not. Fingers crossed. So, first one, you've got the C runners and B runners and the beam sabers. So that's pretty straightforward. You've got the next one. It looks like it's primarily shield, some backpack stuff, unfortunately some polycaps, and some big ass color correcting stickers. These are massive. Probably won't end up using those aside from like the eyes and the camera stuff. Maybe a couple of the flat surface ones, we'll see. And then the last packet is your C1 and your B1 runners. So 3 packets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runners in total of actual stuff, but 6 if you include the polycaps. So this is a fairly straightforward build. I think this one is meant to be one of these kits where you buy a few of them, build them in bulk and customize them and stuff like that. Like a lot of high grades, they are very simple. But if this one turns out like I expect, I really hope to see a master grade version of it. I know they don't tend to do grunt suits in master grades too often, but I'd love to see a master grade Windam, and with all the kits that are coming out from Seed lately in the last couple of years, fingers crossed. But anyway, let's jump right into the build, and I will see you on the other side for my thoughts. Alright, and there you have it. So that is the Windam. So this kit is super cool actually. I really like the joint systems in it. I'm not a big fan of the feet because I do like a multi-jointed foot, but the foot is really simple to put together. It's literally 3 parts, and yeah, it was super fun to put together. The whole thing looks really cool. Now I did go ahead and use some of these stickers, so I only used the grey ones. I of course use the eyes and the cameras, but of the big stickers I only used the grey ones. I didn't bother using the yellow ones because When those go wrong, they really stand out. But these grey ones, they were pretty easy to put on for the most part, and they look really good, giving that big colour difference between the two different types. So giving a multi-tone, essentially. It would have been really nice if they had added that colour separation, since they did go with this dark grey for the missiles and things. So it probably wouldn't have been too hard to add in an extra part or two so that we could create that colour separation with plastic itself. But, you know, get what you get, really. If they do a master grade of this kit, or even a real grade of this kit, I have no doubt that they probably will end up doing those things. Now, as for the build with cleanliness, as you know if you've watched me before, I do single snip with these $30 nippers that I use and love, but I don't tend to clean up too often behind myself. I very rarely will double snip, and I would very rarely sand anything down or anything. So the nub marks that you can make out on the kit are the ones that will be most prevalent for a beginner builder, or if you're in a rush or anything like that. But as I come in nice and tight on this kit, there are basically no visible nub marks, which is amazing, because when I was building it, I was like, oh, there's going to be heaps. But after putting it all together, like, the plastic works so nicely that even with like a fairly good single snip or kind of rough double snip, they hardly show at all. It's fantastic. Like, I'm absolutely loving the overall outcome. So that is the kit for a high grade. This is definitely I want to say it's a master tier high grade. If it had a couple more things, it probably would be. Unfortunately, it does come with a couple of little weird things about it. I'm not a big fan of how they secure in the the extras. The word extras, that's the one I'm looking for. So like the beam sabers on the side, the missiles on here. If you want those to stay long term, you're probably going to need a little bit of glue. I would have preferred some more color separation, like they want you to change the top of the shield to yellow. They had yellow stuff in there, it would have been easy to do that. The color separation on there, I would have been more than happy to pay an extra 10, 15 AUD in order to get that extra color separation. They went that step further for the chest and the shoulders, but they didn't for the backpack and the shield, and that's really disappointing. So yeah, I was a bit let down by just this giant sticker sheet. If it had just been eyes and cameras, this would have easily been a master. But as it is, it's a high tier, high grade, which does mean that it meets all of its expectations as a high grade. It just unfortunately doesn't exceed them. But for a grunt unit, I wasn't expecting it, and it's it's right on the verge of being a master tier. If I was in a more generous mood and I hadn't felt like I've given everything in the last few weeks a master rating, then this probably would be. But I'm being a little bit more critical of my kits because I have been so generous in the past. So yeah, it is what it is, but it's a fantastic kit. There's basically nothing left over. There's the beam sabers, which I almost never cut off the runners. There's a couple of little vent type things, which I'm not sure if I missed putting those on or not. I'll figure that out. And then there's 2 polycaps left over. So that's it. There's nothing really left over from this kit. So it's a really clean build. It's obviously very new. It did come out just this year from Bandai Spirits. So I'm looking forward to more high grade builds from Bandai Spirits coming up in the future. I did recently see that new Zaku Phantom Warrior, or Blaze Zaku Phantom Master Grade is getting a release, which I'm super keen on. Don't know if it's going to get a full release or if I'm going to have to track it down through P Bandai or something like that, but I'm really excited for that, especially if they use the same technology that they use for the Luna Maria Hawk custom. Love to have a green version of that Zaku, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that is the Windam. I do hope you enjoyed the time-lapse and my rambling thoughts on it. If you would like, please leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does help me know what content of mine that you are enjoying. Otherwise, I will see you next week for... I don't know. I have the Windam Pod. I've got a Tall Geese special coating P-Bandai release, and I have the Beyond Global RX-78. So if you watch this and you have gotten to this point and you want me to do one of those three, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see it and maybe do it. Otherwise, I will see you next week for whichever one I end up doing. Thanks for watching.